Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Mind Map and Anatomy. In this session, we will be revising axilla, the boundaries of axilla and the contents of axilla. We'll see one by one. First, what is axilla? Axilla is a pyramidal shaped space located between the upper part of arm and lateral side of chest. It forms a passage for neurovascular bundle, that is nerves and vessels, between the root of neck and upper limb. Since it is a pyramidal shaped space, it has 6 walls: the anterior wall, posterior wall, medial, lateral walls, apex and base. Now the anterior wall, this is the anterior wall. It is formed by 3 muscles: the pectoralis minor muscle, major muscle and subclavius, all the 3 pectoral muscles. In this, the pectoralis major muscle forms the anterior axillary fold. Now the posterior wall. The posterior wall is formed by 3 muscles: subscapularis, latissimus dorsi, teres major. These muscles form the posterior axillary fold. The lateral wall. The lateral wall is the narrowest and it is mainly formed by the bicipital groove or intertubercular sulcus of humerus, biceps brachii muscle and coracobrachialis muscle. The medial wall. The medial wall is formed by upper 4 ribs, the intercostal spaces between these ribs, and the serratus anterior muscle which originate from these muscles. So that forms the medial wall. Now the apex. Apex is triangular in shape. Anteriorly it is formed by the upper border of clavicle, posteriorly formed by the upper border of scapula, and medially it is bounded by the outer border of the first rib. The base is formed by skin stretching between anterior and posterior walls. So that is about the boundaries of axilla. Now we'll see the contents. The first content we will discuss is the axillary artery. Now axillary artery is the continuation of subclavian artery, and distally it continue as brachial artery. The same vessel, same artery which is named differently, which has been given different names depending upon its location. In the root of the neck, it is in the neck region, it is called subclavian artery. In the axilla, it is called axillary artery. Lower down in the brachium, it is called brachial artery. Now the axillary artery extend from the outer border of first rib. Till here it is called subclavian artery. Extend from the outer border of first rib to lower border of pectoralis teres major muscle. This is teres major muscle. So that much is the axillary artery. Now this artery is divided into, it lies in the axillary sheath, and it is divided into 3 parts by the pectoralis minor muscle. Now the first part lies between the outer border of first rib and upper border of pectoralis minor muscle. The second part lies deep to the pectoralis muscle, minor muscle. Third part extends from the lower border of pectoralis minor to lower border of teres major muscle. So that is the third part. Now from the first part, one artery, one branch comes out. That is the superior thoracic artery, which runs along the upper border of pectoralis minor muscle. From the second part, 2 branches, the acromiothoracic artery and the lateral thoracic artery. Lateral thoracic artery runs along the lower border of the pectoralis minor muscle. From the third part, 3 branches. The subscapular artery is the largest artery, and there is posterior and anterior circumflex humeral arteries. Now we'll see the relations and other features of each part. The first part, as I said, extend from the outer border of first rib to upper border of pectoralis minor muscle. Relations. When we talk about relations of each part, the first part and second part related to the chords of brachial plexus. The first part not corresponding chords of their side, but second part corresponds to the corresponding side of the artery. That means the lateral cord laterally, medial cord medially, and posterior cord posteriorly. And the third part of axillary artery is related to the respective branches of the cords. So that is how it is related to the brachial plexus parts. The first part anteriorly related to skin fascia and pectoralis major, posteriorly serratus anterior, medial cord, medial pectoral nerve. Laterally posterior and lateral cord. So here it is not corresponds to the names given or the side of cord. Medially axillary vein. Throughout its course, medially it is related to axillary vein. Branch, as I said, superior thoracic artery which runs along the upper border of pectoralis minor, and it supply upper quadrants of breast. Now the second part. Second part lies posterior to pectoralis minor muscle, anteriorly skin fascia, pectoralis minor and major muscles, posteriorly posterior cord and subscapularis muscle, laterally lateral cord and the two muscles coracobrachialis and short head of biceps brachii, medially medial cord and medial pectoral nerve and axillary vein. Now there are two branches. The thoracoacromial artery, after piercing clavipectoral fascia, it comes out and then it divides into four branches and it goes to the same direction. The pectoral one will go to the pectoral region, acromial towards the acromion, deltoid towards the deltoid, and clavicular branch towards the clavicle. So that four branches of thoracoacromial artery. Now the second branch, that is the lateral thoracic artery. It runs along the lower border of pectoralis minor and supply the outer quadrants of breast. Now the third part. Extend from the lower margin of pectoralis minor to lower margin of teres major muscle. Anteriorly, it is related to skin fascia and the pectoralis major muscle. Posteriorly, related to subscapularis, latissimus dorsi, teres major, that forms the posterior wall of the axilla. Other than that, axillary nerve and radial nerve. Medially, medial cord branches, that is the medial pectoral nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of arm, medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, the ulnar nerve and medial root of median nerve. The axillary vein also medially related. Laterally, the median nerve, median cutaneous nerve of musculocutaneous nerve and coracobrachialis muscle. It has three branches. Subscapular artery. Subscapular artery is taking part in the anastomosis, scapular anastomosis. The anterior circumflex artery gives a branch to tuberculous sulcus. The posterior circumflex humeral artery accompany the axillary nerve. So that is about the axillary artery. Applied anatomy, the axillary artery aneurysm and axillary artery pulsations can be felt. Now the axillary vein. Axillary vein is formed. Axillary vein, throughout its course, it is related medial part of the axillary artery. Formation, it is formed by the joining of basilic vein and venae comitans, two veins accompanying the brachial artery. They are called venae comitans. The deep veins which accompany the artery, that is called venae comitans. Or it may form as a continuation of a basilic vein from the level of lower border of teres major. So extent is from the lower border of teres major to outer border of first rib. Now the termination, it terminates at the outer border of first rib as subclavian vein. Course, it accompanies the axillary artery on its medial side, but not within the axillary sheath, because in order to allow the expansion of the vein. Lower part of axillary vein is related to musculocutaneous nerve of arm and laterally to medial cutaneous nerve of forearm. The medial cutaneous nerve of arm and laterally medial cutaneous nerve of forearm and ulnar nerve. Tributaries, cephalic vein is the largest tributary. Other tributaries are the veins corresponding to the branches of axillary artery. Applied thrombosis can occur, especially long duration of hyperabduction at shoulder joint, those who are painting the ceiling and all, or during lymphadenectomy, that is removal of lymph nodes, the axillary vein can get damaged and leads to thrombosis. Thrombosis causes stasis, venous stasis and edema of whole upper limb. Direct injury can result in air embolism. So these are the features of axillary vein. Thank you for listening. The other contents we will discuss in the next session. Thank you for listening.